Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another game for Elite Esports. Today, we are going to be showcasing our Junior Varsity Super Smash Brothers team as they go up against Rancho Verde High School in a best of 5. Last week, we had a crazy best of 5 between our varsity team and the Cross Hill Christian Academy that came down to the final stock. We'll see if we have another barn burner here today. First up for the Eagles will be Flacida, who showed great prowess on the Kirby character last week. And we'll see what she's going to be able to do again today against the first player from Rancho Verde High School. Looks like we have picked the stage, and it is going to be Pokemon Stadium 2 to start out this one. Flacida will be first. We're going to go to game number 1. She has chosen Samus, while the first player on Rancho Verde is going to go with a Greninja. We did see a little bit of Greninja, I want to say last week in one of these games, but typically not something we see too often. Flacida going around trying to look for an opening grab. Greninja fires out with a Water Shuriken, but that misses. Flacida grabs, goes for another grab again. But so far hasn't been able to land anything. Greninja doing a good job of keeping his distance away from Samus. Quick projectile there gives him an opening. But Flacida falls for the first use of the substitute we see. And it can be a deadly move, but if it's overused, it might be red. Flacida gets a grab and a little bit of a forward air off, but nothing much more than that. Nice little smash attack. Tries to follow it up, but this is just barely Greninja able to dodge roll out of that. Good roll by Flacida, and a grab, and a punish with multiple up airs in a row, and an up special. 3 hits together, all chained together. A beautiful KO. Great use of the blast zones at the top of the map to secure that without even needing too much damage. And Flacida with a big first KO there, as she takes the first stock without taking much damage from the Greninja. Greninja gets a couple grabs off, looking to start managing a comeback. Does get the substitute to close that distance, but Placida dodges, grabs, and throws him again. Tries to go for the up air this time, but Greninja was waiting. Looks like he made that quick little adjustment after seeing how the first stock went for him. Placida reads, the substitute grabs, tosses him away. Greninja has wised up to the chain up airs that Placida has thrown out from the Samus. But this time, she's now starting to land a lot more of those grabs and a good use of the forward air to force Greninja out. And a zoning projectile forces the Greninja to take a different recovery route, which he cannot get back to the ledge with. Now Placida threatening to 3-0 the first opponent from Rancho Verde here. Nice up air. Or forward air, I should say. Followed up by smash attack. And Placida barely getting back on the recovery there. Good use of the up special and the grab. Looking a little dicey. And now in a good position to possibly three-stock their opponent here. Placida blocks. Tries to go for the up smash. But the hitbox went up above the Greninja, so he didn't get hit by it. Tries to time that one, but a well-timed air dodge from Greninja stops it. And now Placida with good stage control. It looks like Greninja's not going to be able to recover from that projectile that forces him off. And Placida takes the first round in the first set. And will have an advantage heading into round number 2 of set 1. Great showing by Placida on the Samus. Really good stage control, especially on those final 2 KOs. Just forcing the Greninja out, not even letting him recover onto the stage, not even needing to redline to secure that KO. Alright, I muted myself on the stream. What's up, guys? Oh, I've not. We are on to round number 2 of set 1. Placido was able to 3-stock the Greninja. Now it looks like the Greninja switched over. First player on Rancho Verde switched over to a Dark Pit. Not something we typically see, and Placido switched over to Dark Samus. Not really much of a difference other than just the effects and the aesthetics. A lot of the same advantages that Samus has are given to Dark Samus as well. So those being including that extended grab, really good use of up airs, as well as those projectiles. Placido blocks the Electric Shock, tries to grab and throw and go into an up air, but Dark Pit gets himself out of it. She blocks the arrow, tries to go for a grab to get herself back on the stage, runs towards the middle, but now finds herself getting knocked away. Placido trying to land one of those up airs, but so far the first player on Rancho Verde has been very good about not getting hit by the up smashes coming out from Samus, because it can be pretty good. The hitbox will extend pretty far. Placido do what she can with the projectiles to knock away this Dark Pit on Rancho Verde. Slams him into the ground, waits for him to move over, but again, just barely missing with that up smash. Maybe she'll land one in one of these games, but a good forward air to block him out. Up special seems to be one of the reasons that this first player has gone off to Dark Pit. A couple of those recoveries that we've seen the Greninja just falter on, and this time just zoning out Placido. She barely gets back on top of stage. She grabs him and it does redline, but mistimes the projectile just a bit. A little bit too early on that execution there. Dark Pit blocks the next missile coming in, but Placido's right there with the big energy ball from Samus. It secures her first KO of round number 2 here. Now Dark Pit is holding her off with the arrow. She does manage to dodge the second one and recover. Now Dark Pit just kind of trying to zone her out again. She dodges into the middle of the stage to reset the neutral, fires off the first missile, and Dark Pit just makes nearly a critical error. I also don't know how that energy ball didn't hit. It seems like it phased right through him. Now, so we are experiencing some lag, so we might have to pause and report back what the end of this game was. We'll be right back, and we'll report what the outcome of this game is. Alright, we have returned. It looks like the arena might have closed down. The server might have crashed there. So we are resetting round number 2 of set 1. Both players will be playing the same character. So Varsity still using the Dark Samus, although she is represented on the right side of the screen rather than the left side this time. Not that much of a difference. So both players can be kind of respecting each other, looking for some quick hits to start off a combo. And Dark Pit slicing and dicing, tries to get himself an early lead, and that time the electric shot does hit. Varsity does not shield that time. And now Dark Pit taking advantage of the lack of shielding that Varsity has done so far. Varsity tries to go in with a forward air. She blocks that one this time. This time she does keep her distance from the electroshock, but is late on the grab and does not get the stage control back. That time Dark Pit goes for the electroshock and leads him off the cliff. That time Varsity grabs and throws him the other way, but that's all she's going to get from that interaction right there. Charges forward after the electroshock. She's now doing a better job of keeping her distance away from that powerful attack. A couple quick jabs to start off a combo, and now that lead is a little bit smaller. 105 to 91 here. Both players in a very vulnerable position to get KO'd. And that time it is Varsity that gets hit in the face with the side special from Dark Pit. It's got a very big hitbox and can do a lot of damage, but is a little bit slow. Varsity gets around the other side of him, dash attacks into Dark Pit, sends him off the stage, but she also falls off the stage too. That time he electroshocks off the stage, will up special. Varsity trying to do what she can to block him off of the stage with some of these Samus bombs. Tries to go for the spike there. Doesn't find anything, and a good dodge roll to get away from the electroshock. That was sure to hit and go for a KO. Nice forward air coming out from Dark Pit. Varsity gets back on the top of the stage. She grabs, chucks him off. Now Varsity with the stage control there. But the up special from Pit has been getting a lot of value. Some crazy recoveries we've seen from this person already. Not going to be recovered from that one as Varsity knocks him on top of the stage, chucks him off the left side of the screen, and he flies out of that blast zone for Varsity's 4th KO of the game and 1st KO of the second match. Now Varsity in more of a rhythm. He already gets this Dark Pit up to 60%. And that time, not able to get out of the electroshock, but a good lead built onto the second stock, 83-0. Varsity tries to go for another spike. That time misses, and just barely getting back on top of the stage. Both players showcasing some really good recovery skills. Varsity grabs, blocks, grabs, chucks him off, throws some projectiles his way, making this Pit's life very miserable, and making those approaches super hard to do. Hard to get close to your opponent when they're chucking everything out of the kitchen sink at you. And there it is. There is the spike. 3rd time's the charm for Varsity. She secures her 2nd KO of the match with a beautiful down air from Samus. She keeps using some of those dash attacks to just maintain the stage control here, not making it easy for Dark Pit to recover. Timing her recovery very well to give her that opening to go in. Knocking Dark Pit off with every aerial imaginable. And again, just staying closer to the center of the stage, zoning him out here, not letting him really get his footing here. That time Dark Pit escapes into the middle with a electroshock, and both players seem to be just firing off projectiles. Not really sure what's going on here. It is Varsity that breaks it. She gets bored of it first. Realizes that the only way to finish this game is to KO your opponent. Not beat them with those projectiles like so. This time she does charge it up. Dark Pit tries to reflect it. She jumps over the electroshock, dash attacks, knocks him off the stage. But good use of the electroshock there. Looks like Dark Pit was reading the aerial. That time Varsity does block it. Now is looking to possibly close out this match. Both players recover. A lot of offstage fighting in this particular round. Dark Pit at 162. Varsity waits out the smash attack. Kicks him off the side of the stage. Tries to go for the spike, but was a little bit too high. That time, though, she sweeps him off the left side of the stage with a forward tilt, securing the second round of the set and giving the Eagles a 1-0 series lead. Next up for the Eagles in set number 2 is going to be Baymax 11. Baymax 11 is making at least his stream debut for high school. He's been playing on the JV team for a couple weeks now, but this is the first time we're going to get to watch him play at the high school level. Isaiah has spent multiple years on the middle school team. He has graduated middle school and now is ready to take on the next level of competition. For the most part, the characters played have not changed, so we're expect to see Sora or maybe some Pyra/Mythra in this game.
3, 2, 1, go!
So he is going to go against the captain for Rancho Verde with a 1-0 lead to protect. As the captain plays, Link looks like they're a little bit slow, maybe just kind of waiting out, seeing what Baymax's strategy and approach is going to be. Both players just firing off projectiles. Where have we seen this before? Just like 2 minutes ago. Baymax finds an opening, chops him up with the Keyblade, tries to go for the neutral special, but the lightning bolts were a little bit too far away from Link there for to generate any value. He gets a side smash. Baymax goes in with an up special, gets some value out of it, but is a little bit too far to the edge to land that freezing attack. Does get a little bit of a down smash, though, to extend his slim lead here. Link grabs, chucks him off. But Baymax goes in with that side special. It has been working so far for him. A couple more hits from the side special. Now Link at 101. Tries to go for it when it's shielded. That time gets off a forward tilt, and now Link is going to need to be on defensive. Baymax grabs, chucks him downwards, and good use of the fire to keep holding off Link, but he barely gets back onto the stage there. Link slices and dices, pushing Baymax away. And a little bit of a lucky hit from the bomb coming out there. Now Baymax is struggling to recover with that side special. And the Link on Rancho Verde waits it out and punishes with an up smash. Baymax gets pushed out by those bombs, recovers onto the stage, trying to navigate the tricky part of the stage that is covered in these Link projectiles. After getting Link up to 200%, Baymax goes in with a nice dash attack, securing his first stock, evening the stock count up, but Link with a slim lead. Baymax might be able to make that up if he lands a few of these specials in a row. But it looks like Link has adjusted a little bit. Baymax hasn't really found the extra hits he needs to kind of even the score back up. Now 5-77. Link blocks the incoming side special, but Baymax reads that he's going to jab him right after and gets away from that as well. Interesting use of the down air there. It spikes Baymax off of that top platform, and a knockback causes him to fly up to the blast zone from the top part of the stage. And now, without much of a sweat, the Link on Rancho Verde is now up 2-1, just 1 KO away from securing the first round of set number 2 here. Baymax fires off a couple projectiles, tries to get himself in a position to do some damage, but he jumps over Link, and that time Link reads it with an up smash, knocking him up in the air, getting him up to 76. That time Isaiah dodges the incoming dash attack, but is getting bounced around by some of these projectiles. That time he does find an opening with the side special and chains it with the neutral special. But looks like he missed the up smash there. Tries to go for a forward smash, and that time it doesn't work. Now holding the Link off of the stage. Link comes in with another down air right on top of his head, securing the round. Pushing the advantage for Rancho Verde as they are now 1 round win away from evening up the series. We are back with round number 2 of set number 2. Link took the first game by a score of 2-0, and Baymax has opted to switch to Pyra Mithra. Immediately goes out with that side special to try to catch him off guard. Goes in with the Mithra up special. And already a critical error as he goes a little bit too far off the stage with Mithra. Does catch Link that time with the neutral special. But Link so far still shielding some of those side specials. He does get caught out by the up special and is able to chain a couple together. But if Link is able to maintain position on the stage and time his shields correctly, then he will probably walk away with this one. Max goes in with the grab. Ducks him sideways, tries to use the up their side special. That time it does chain together a good combo. But Baymax misses the second grab that time. Now has to reapproach Link. Tries to sweep him off, tries to bait him into a forward smash, but right now, Link using more of the stage. Interestingly enough, Link does get redlined there. Looks like both players got redlined. But we're both able to recover thanks to the directional influence. That time, Link bounces the bomb towards Baymax as he gets back on top of the stage. Baymax unable to air dodge away from those bombs, and now Link using the arrows just to push him out. That time Link does get caught up in the up special by Pirates. Very powerful, very favorable hitboxes. Baymax switches back over to Mithra, chops him up with the side special, gets a little bit of damage there. But Link just barely able to escape the clutches of Baymax 11 as he misses another grab. Goes in for a tilt and a dash attack, gets a couple hits there, but nothing else from that. Interesting use of the counter coming out from Baymax. Tries to go for the side special, gets knocked out by the boomerang. That time it does land. Recovers onto the stage using the up special, but slams himself right into another one of the bombs coming out from Link. He's been very, very crafty with those all game. Not doing anything fancy in terms of chucking him at Baymax, just putting him in good positions where he will land. Baymax does land a KO with the neutral special there from Pyra, but he still has some work to do if he wants to come back and win this game. The time he's getting pushed off by the arrows, and it gets knocked down to the bottom of the stage with another well-timed bomb. Link takes the set 2-0 and evens up the series 1-1 for Rancho Verde. Score is tied between Rancho Verde and the Elite Academic Academy Eagles 1-1. We'll be back with set 3 in just a few moments. Next up for the Eagles in set number 3 is going to be Ruby Runes. Runes is the captain of our junior varsity team, also featured on our Splatoon team, but will be playing Smash Bros. And representing the Eagles in this crew battle. Likely to play Pokemon Trainer, but we might see some Pyramithra as well, like we did in the last round. We have returned with round number 1 of set 3. Both teams looking to take a 2-1 series lead. It's going to be Ruby Runes up against the third player for Rancho Verde, who's also elected to go Dark Pit. Ruby Runes goes out with his main, that is Pokemon Trainer. Looking for an opening with Squirtle. to start racking up some damage and maybe close out the KO with Ivysaur and Charizard. He tries to charge up. A little Hydro Pump with Squirtle. Jumps in with the withdrawal move, but just opts to switch for the Ivysaur in general. It's a small stage. Squirtle's really slippery, hard to control. So goes to switch over to Ivysaur, which has typically been his best Pokemon when playing Pokemon Trainer. Shields the incoming attack from Link, or from Dark Pit, I should say. Jumps forward with a couple forward airs. And tries to jab, but Dark Pit is not in the area. Throws a Vine Whip projectile at him, but Ruby is just trying to keep his distance away from the Dark Pit right now, away from the projectiles. Blocks the up smash attack. Goes in with a nice neutral air. A couple neutrals in a row. Start to chop Dark Pit up. Now Ruby Runes with a stage advantage, and Dark Pit jumps off the stage, gets himself back on. But so far, not a lot happening. Ruby Runes goes in with a couple forward airs. Dark Pit counters. Ruby Runes goes in with a projectile, but unable to get anything with the follow-up dash attack as he gets shielded by the Dark Pit. That time he does not block the incoming up smash coming through the platform. Dark Pit pushes Ivysaur off the cliff. He gets back on top, and an interesting shift over to Charizard, and now he starts to burn the Dark Pit, dashes over. We'll see if this is a move to try to confirm a KO, or if it's going to work in the favor of Rancho Verde. Charizard is big, hits hard, but he is also big and susceptible to damage in that way. It is a big hitbox. It's a big, easy target. Despite the fact he can hit hard just like that and not even needing to redline, he dashes and kicks Dark Pit off of the cliff during the opening KO of this set. Nearly jumps off there with Squirtle, and now just looking to use that speed of Squirtle to go in and get a few hits off. That time he does get an opening hit there. Dark Pit jumps back. Ruby Runes gets back on top of the stage. He recovers that time. Goes for an up smash with Squirtle. Luckily, he has the time to shield. That could have been deadly. Squirtle's very light. Any big smash attack is likely to chuck him off of the stage just like that. But the DI from Ruby Runes gets back on top. Ruby Runes recovers with Ivysaur and switches back over to Charizard, interestingly. Maybe just to get more damage. Barely misses the Flare Blitz that time. But Dark Pit able to force him off again with an arrow. Ruby Runes is going to get back on top of the stage. He needs to. Goes for a little tilt to get himself some breathing room. Blocks the first incoming arrow. Perhaps just waiting for this Dark Pit to come in and challenge him so you can hit him with a big attack. That time with the back air from Dark Pit secures the second KO of the set, evening up 2-2 between Ruby Runes and the third player on Rancho Verde. Runes tries to go in, get some value with the down airs with Squirtle, but ultimately gets forced off, and that time bounces off of the side of the stage. Few chained forward airs together from Ivysaur. It does make a nice combo. It does get the Dark Pit up to 50%, but it's going to be hard for Ruby Runes to recover from that critical mistake. Whacking him again. He's gotten a lot of value from the forward airs, but he is going to need to secure this KO soon without taking much more damage. Gets sliced up there by the Broken Bow. Now at 56%. Dark Pit also at 104. If Ruby Runes can get a grab and maybe a smash attack off. He does get a forward smash that time. Now in control of the stage. Looking to keep zoning out this Dark Pit. And that time takes advantage of the opening he has. There was an opening for the up air there, and Ruby Runes committed and did not mess up. Now the score is even 1-1, but Dark Pit's still ahead. Ruby Runes still going to need to rack up that damage. Dark Pit in control there. He has gotten Ruby Runes above on the platforms. That time, Ruby Runes gets back down towards the stage. Now can start working his way back into this. Now it's 55-76. Ruby Runes doing a very excellent job of Ivysaur to even up this match. Whips him in the face with those two vines. And that time, the electroshock was a little bit too antsy. Ruby Runes was far away. Does not get hit by it. Ruby Ruins dodges, fires off a forward air, and now has taken control of this match. She has been absolutely cooking on this Ivysaur. Neutral air pushes Dark Pit off. And now Ruby Ruins doing his best to continue to zone out the Dark Pit. Another forward air and an up air. The second up air of the game for Ruby Ruins results in a KO. And despite a nearly critical error, Ruby Ruins forces a comeback and takes control of the game, winning round number 1 of set number 3. Now stands 3 stocks away from giving the Eagles a 2-1 series lead. All right, we are finally back after a lengthy map selection process. And the third player for Rancho Verde has opted to switch over to Cloud after dropping round 1 to Ruby Runes. No changes from Mr. Ruby himself. Going with the Pokemon Trainer again, still opening with the Squirtle. Tries to go in with the withdrawal move to get himself a nice hit and maybe some aerial attacks. Just dashing around the stage, looking for that opening. Cloud goes in, slices both ways, gets 17% damage, chops him with down air. And now Ruby Runes forcing him out with some forward airs. Gets a couple quick hits off, but nothing much more than that. That time Cloud stops the withdrawal move with the projectile sword, and now is pushing him up. And now Ruby Rune's going to switch back over to the Ivysaur, maybe get some of that momentum back. That time Cloud slices with the forward air. And Ruby Rune's not able to do anything about it. Misses the dash attack, goes in with a nice down air, but still doesn't provide the opening he needs. That one does provide it, but Cloud with the limit now to work with. So Ruby Rune's going to have to play around that. And that time does not shield the incoming attack. Luckily, though, for Ruby, he is not at a high enough percentage for that to KO. And is still not in a super vulnerable position, but does need to rack up some damage. Another good spike from Ivysaur. Gets it closer, 92 to 72. Now Ruby Rune's looking to maybe get some more momentum. Not able to get away from the down air that time. Tries to go for the up air, but Cloud read it and adjusted. He read the move that Ruby Runes sunk him with in the last game and responded with a spike from Cloud. The big sword hitbox is going to beat out Ivysaur's. And this time, Ruby Runes dashes forward, grabs him with Charizard. Get that damage up. Ruby Runes goes in with the Flare Blitz. But Cloud is able to shield it just in time and turn around and hit Charizard with a smash attack, securing the first KO of this particular round. Ruby Runes gets back on top. He gets chopped up a little bit by Cloud. Slaps him in the face with the vines a little bit. Now, Ruby Runes switches back to Charizard, likely to secure the KO here. Tries to go in with a smash attack, but Cloud reads it that time. Ruby Runes burns, shields him, tries to go for a grab, gets a couple dashes off. And Cloud using the down air in a defensive manner to stop Ruby Runes from getting any value from up airs or up specials, securing KOs that way. Now Cloud's with the limit. He's going to wait until Ruby Runes is back on stage to perhaps use that. Chops up, but misses the limit. Both players missing their powerful attacks. But now Ruby Runes does need to secure his KO. He's already at 116 on his second one, while Cloud is still on their first. Cloud pushes him back with the projectile sword. Ruby Runes gets chopped up, and now Cloud's going to have that limit again. Cloud's trying to go for the grab. That time Ruby Runes pushes him off with the Squirtle withdrawal, and finally Ruby Runes is able to secure his first KO of this particular round. But he still has a lot more work to do. He's going to get back on top of the stage with Squirtle, shields the projectile that time from Cloud, goes in with another dash and another forward air, but Squirtle just doesn't hit hard enough for it to be a huge swing. But this time he's starting to chain them together. Now Ruby Runes in good control of the stage. Gets Cloud up to 70 despite being at 152 himself. Now switches over to Ivysaur and starts knocking him around. Chops him up with a neutral air, but now needs to watch out for that ever-present limit, and he does dodge it that time. But gets baited out by the Cloud. But a really, really good string of events there for Ruby Runes. Get Cloud up to 91, now in a position where he can be KO'd after a couple hits, perhaps. One big attack from Charizard should be enough to get the other KO there. Ruby Runes dashes in, unable to get away from the Cloud. Dash attack. Dodges the grab that time, tries to whip him with the tail. And that time Ruby Runes grabs, burns Cloud in the face, and follows up with an up air, secure second KO, and now it's 1-1. Ruby Ruins with a really good performance on their second stock to kind of even things up here, but they're still not ahead in this one, and still usually unable to avoid maybe some of those Cloud smash attacks that have sunk him on his first 2 stocks. Dashes in with the Squirtle withdrawal that's been a lot more effective in this game just due to the fact that Hollow Bastion is a slightly larger stage than Small Battlefield. Now Ruby Ruins in danger of being KO'd here. He's at 86. Down air gets him up to 101 and a dash attack pushing him off the stage. Now Cloud has the limit to play around with. Ruby Ruins needs to dodge this. And he does barely get in the way from the use of the up special limit. But Cloud has just been able to kind of push him around before he gets onto the stage and recovers for himself. Ruby Ruins dashes away, tries to force him off with a Vine Whip projectile. Gets a couple jabs. That's going to knock Cloud off a little bit. Ruby Ruins tries to get more stage control by tossing in some projectiles. Dashes in with a forward air. Gets himself out. Neutral chops up Cloud a little bit. And a critical mistake. Cloud jumps off and SDs. And a little bit of a lucky break for Ruby Ruins. But he secures the round by a score of 1-0. Giving the Eagles a 2-1 series lead as they stand 1 set away from walking away with their first victory of the season. Great job by Ruby Ruins being resilient. Despite getting down in both of those matches, he forced a comeback and now gives the Eagles a 2-1 lead. We have returned after another shutdown from the hosts arena, but we are back. We are getting ready for round number 4. So representing the Eagles in round number 4 is going to be Flacita once again. Will she play Kirby or will she stick with the Samus or Dark Samus pick? We're gonna have to wait and find out. The Samus and Dark Samus were very effective against the first player of Rancho Verde, but we'll have to see how their team captain fares against Flacita's Samus or Kirby play. Likely not to see the Jigglypuff, although I would love to see a Jigglypuff be played at some point during the season. Just not realistic when a game is so close, such as this one. You're almost done banning stages. Looks like it's either going to be Pokemon Stadium 2 or a return on Smashville. If I had to guess, it would be PS2. Pokemon Stadium 2 is obviously very popular. It looks great. It's got good music, even platforms. What's not to love about it? So we'll cut to the match as soon as we have the arena, which will be Pokemon Stadium 2. We are finally back with round number 1 of set number 4. Lucina needs to close out against the captain of Rancho Verde if she wants the Eagles to walk away with a victory in this one. Already up 46-0 against Link. Couple quick grabs, and now Faceta just using the stage control to her advantage, pushes him off with a shoulder charge, keeps firing off missiles and projectiles, not making it easy for the Link to get back. But Link has thrown a couple projectiles of his own, and Faceta falls victim to the bomb once again. Again, the Link on Rancho Verde not doing anything crazy with the bombs, just throwing them in good positions where people are likely to land, just like that. Now 46-67, Faceta needs another opening to regain the momentum in this match. Link does get hit by the big energy ball and walks right into a grab by Faceta. Slices above the top of the stage, gives himself an opening and back on top. Trying to reset to neutral here is Link, and just barely escaping what would have been an up smash right there. Faceta dodges away from the forward smash from Link, but gets hit by a couple of these arrows. That time she does walk and grab him. The Link is right there with the up special, taking himself back on top of the platform, while also getting a little bit of damage on Faceta. He knocks the bomb closer. Faceta jumps in, tries to go for a forward air. Link gets away from it, and is just shielding the incoming attacks from Faceta. Tries to zone her out with the bomb. Faceta knocks it away, but Link comes out with a boomerang to continue to knock her to the other side. Faceta dodges to the right side, grabs, chucks Link off to the right. Tries to go for the spike, but misses both the spike and the up special. Now she's in a precarious position, and definitely a vulnerable one as well. Both players at high percentage. And Faceta trying to win this little war of attrition. We have two very projectile-heavy characters. One being Link, one being Dark Samus. Faceta charges the ball up all the way. Link still has the bomb active. Tries to knock it a little bit closer to Faceta. Knocks it a little bit closer with the arrow. Faceta goes in with the shoulder charge, but misses. Dodges the incoming smash attack from Link. Tries to go for the grab. Misses that one. Dodges away. Now Link in a precarious position. Faceta dodges to the left. And just barely missing some of these grabs. Trying to close out the first KO with a grab, but that time she reads the movement and positioning of the Link. Follows it up with an up air, and that will be enough to secure the first KO of this one. Maybe get some breathing room for Faceta as she looks to maybe extend this lead a little bit. But that isn't to say she isn't in a super safe position right now, because she's at 117% damage. Gets knocked away by the bomb there. Charges up the energy ball off the stage. Does not get the grab that time. Shields. Tries to go for the up smash, but a little bit too early. Narrowly avoids the forward air. And just barely a little bit too early on that energy ball. Has been used to zone out both Link and her previous opponent. But that time has not really been hitting. It hasn't really secured any KOs outright other than the zone. That time Faceta just waited a little bit too long. That bomb was going to fall no matter what. And just in a tough position, not able to get away from the bombs of Link, which have still been a problem all game. That time Faceta goes for an up air, forward air as well. She gets hit in the face with the bomb. Link tries to start a combo off of that, but Faceta gets back onto the stage a little bit quicker. Quick little back air knocks her down. And it looks like both players just trying to play some hot potato with the big blue bombs that Link has been throwing out. Faceta knocking it over to the other side of the stage. Hits the up air, but misses the up special on the follow-up. Charges up the energy ball, but Link blocks it. Tries to go for a down air, but Faceta reads it, dodges it out of the way. Tries to go for a grab. That time that grab does land. She throws him off of the cliff. And still just a little bit too impatient on the up air. Link has been using that to great effect to recover. And not only recover, but get a quick hit as he recovers onto the stage. That time Faceta blocks the down air. But Link has been able to kind of negate some of this damage and hit back pretty hard as well, using some of these things like the down air and the forward air. Placida charges up the energy ball. Waits for Link to be in a position. Tries to go for the forward air. That time hits him with the up special of smash. Not in the right position, though, to catch Link on the fall. Placida gets hit in the head with the bomb. Now Link might need that as an opening. He tries to go for an up air. And somehow that does not redline. A really good use of the up special. But that time, Placida gets trapped once again on the edge of the cliff with the bomb. She chucks it back on top. And Link gets himself away from it. Placida shoulder charges Link. Pushes him off with a forward air and evens it up. But Link was able to build up a bit of a lead. Still anyone's game here. Placida tries to open it up with a missile. Charges up the energy ball, but goes for an up smash, but that might have been a critical mistake as Link is able to get away from that and then some. Placida grabs, chucks Link off the cliff, gets a good use of the up air, tries to chain them together. Is only able to get two, but a good little momentum shift nonetheless. Tries to go for up smash there. Definitely misses. Should have gone for the grab, perhaps. That time Link does actually get hit by the ball. Does not shield that one. But Placida falls victim once again to just the AoE damage from the bomb. Just being used to block her out. Placida uses the energy ball to go in. Now starts pounding Link with the up airs, but misses the up special. Luckily gets away from that dash into a forward air from Link. That surely would have been the game right there. But quick thinking from Placida saves her just for a moment there, but now is going to be in a precarious position. She'll grab the edge, and Link's going to look to try to bomb it. Gets away from the up smash there. Gets away from another smash attack. Placida more on the defensive right here as Link continues to push the advantage with all the projectiles and powerful smash attacks he has in his kit. Placida gets on top of the stage, is able to shield that one. Tries to go for a forward air. Link gets away from the grab just in time. It is very close in this match. Very intense. Placida gets a little bit of an opening and a grab. And the grab is the opening she needs to fire off that up air. Another beautiful Samus up air by Placida. Secures the round by a score of 1-0. And now Placida stands 3 stocks away from sending the junior varsity team home with their first victory of the season. Okay. We're just not gonna pick final. We are back with the final round of set number 4 here. It is still, once again, Placida versus the Link on Rancho Verde. Link walked away with a victory in the last round by a score of 1-0. And so Placida has chosen to play on Battlefield instead of Final Destination for the last round here. She starts chaining some up airs together, but misses on the up special. Tries to go for a side smash, but the down air from Link beats it out. He gets hit off with a little missile from Samus, but he doesn't really get able to get anything else from that. He slams the ground, tries to go for an up smash, but Placida is nowhere to be found. In the wake of that, Placida goes in with a dash attack, charges, gets an up air and a forward air out, gets another forward air. Now Placida in a good control of the stage, tries to shoot Link off of the projectile, but the quick reaction, the quick dodge roll coming out from Link saves his life just there, just barely. Placida at 122, still in a vulnerable position. Link does need to land one of these big smash attacks, but that hasn't really been the MO for Link. Both players actually get hit by the bomb there. Placida shoulder charges it, and it explodes right in between them. But that time, Link jumps above, goes for the down air, and Placida isn't able to get out of the reach of that. She shoulder charges in with no fear, waiting for Link to get on top of the stage, but misses the up air. Link goes right past it, and Placida fires it without hitting Link at all, and Link able to take advantage of it. That time Placido blocks, turns around, hits the forward smash, but the projectile just barely missing. Link gets hit with another up air. Placido starts to chain them together. Will she get a third one? Barely misses the forward air. A good air dodge from Link. Saves his life once again. So 2 really good dodges from Link have been the difference in this third round here. Link comes out with down air, then an up air. Using those platforms to his advantage. Placido gets back on top of the stage, but gets knocked off by the boomerang projectile. That time, able to secure her first KO with a good dash attack. Shoulder charges into Link, knocks him off the side of the stage, but has plenty of work to do to come back in this one. Already at 79 on her second stock. A really good, fully charged hit. Now kind of swings the momentum back, and now Link at 73% does get the down air off. Get Lupita into a range where she could be KO'd. But Placido doing a good job of coming back on her second stock, racking up a lot of damage onto Link, but now he is pushing her back with all the projectiles. Placido gets away, keeps her distance from the sword, gets back on top of the stage, dodges, the projectile jumps around, but Link able just to keep her off with this endless barrage of projectiles. Placido not really been able to find her footing in quite some time here. Keeps charging projectiles to try to get that opening against Link. That time is able to get an aerial off, but Link comes back in with down air, securing the second stock, using the platforms to continue to knock Placido back, but is at 104. Barely gets to recover. Gets back on top of the stage, but the projectile from Placido does not really continue the advantage. The smaller Samus projectiles can stun, but they're not really going to do a lot of damage. And so therefore, Link is still able to kind of stay in this on his second stock. Placido knocks him off the side of the stage with the side smash. Now it is all even 1-1 again. Placido still a little bit behind, but not as far behind as she was on her second stock. Gets a couple forward airs off in a row. This is the up air. That time, this is the grab. I haven't really seen a lot of grabs from Placido in this game. That's the first one I feel like I've seen. Tries to go for the up air. Link is just adjusting with the down air every time Placido goes for it. Up air into forward air, into perhaps a projectile, but Link blocks it. Placido takes advantage of the positioning by Link, but Link comes back down, slams the ground, knocks her off to the side of the stage, and now is threatening perhaps to win this match by knocking her near the edge and then just throwing a bomb on her head. Placido fires a rocket, but it's going the wrong way. She goes in with the up air, reads the Link movement, gets away from the down air just barely. Blocks incoming smash attacks, gets away from the projectiles coming out from Link. Tries to go for a forward air. That time does catch Link with the up air, misses forward. Now back to square one into neutral. Placido able to get a lot of damage with the up airs, but it hasn't really landed to its full effect. Barely gets away from the bomb there. And Placido unable to get out of the up smash coming out from Link. And Link secures the fourth set for Rancho Verde by a score of 1-0. So we'll go to a winner-take-all Game 5 for the second week in a row. Okay. We are back with the beginning of the final set of this best of 5. It is going to be Ruby Runes once again facing off against his first original opponent, the Cloud and the Dark Pit player. Both players playing the same characters, reprising their roles from the first set. By first set, I mean third, but first set, these two opponents faced off. Cloud comes in with a couple strong down airs. Now knocking Swirl all the way up to 47%. Ruben's trying to get away, trying to find an opening to get a little bit more chip damage before perhaps switching to Ivysaur. Does find an opening there, gets a forward air off. Cloud able to dodge and shield. Whips around with the tail whip. That time comes in with the withdrawal, knocking Cloud with the shield. Cloud slides in, gets a hit off, and now has the limit to play around with. Ruben's going to need to be very careful. Was good about dodging the limit in the last game, and at that time does it again, but nearly jumps off the stage. He does recover with Squirtle, gets himself back on top, but stands there a little bit too long and gets sliced in the face with the forward air from that Buster Sword. That time does find the opening to charge in with Squirtle, get a little bit more damage onto Cloud before perhaps switching over. Knocks him away with a neutral air. Cloud counters with a forward air of his own. Neck and neck here, and Ruby Runes switches over to the Ivysaur that we've seen so much in the first round. Tries to go in with the Vine Whip projectile. Cloud marches in. Looking for a way to get an advantage onto the stage. Does knock Cloud up into the air. Perhaps is waiting out for that down air. Whips him away with the forward air. That time Cloud blocks the Vine Whip from the Ivysaur. And Ruby Runes unable to get away from the other side of that down smash. Now Cloud has room to play around with, and Ruby Runes not able to get out of that one. Just in a tough spot. But immediately switches over to Charizard, and immediately, without even hitting the floor, Ruby Runes evens it up back to 2-2, and we are back to square one. Both players at 2 stocks. Ruby Runes barely able to get back on top. That projectile at the bottom of that, hitting him just enough to continue keep him off the stage. A little bit of a scare, but Ruby Runes able to recover. His recovery on Squirtle has gotten a little bit better. Down air. Get some chip damage onto Cloud. Unable to get really close here just because of the hitbox of that sword. Can be really good at batting characters away, even in a defensive manner. Tries to go in with withdrawal. Cloud is right there. Ruby switches over to the Ivysaur, bats him away with some quick jabs. Cloud once again with the limit, now threatening again. Ruby Runes doesn't seem to fear him though. Cloud comes in with down air. Ruby Runes up to 98, perhaps trying to use that limit to secure another KO. Does use it, but that time it doesn't KO. Hits him with another up special. And that time the Flare Blitz does hit. It does kind of swing momentum a little bit. But now Ruby Runes still in a really vulnerable position. It's going to be tough for him to recover. Charizard is so big and easy to hit. He blocks the first projectile coming out, but not able to read the down air coming up from the side of Cloud. Jumps forward, slices through the air, hits with an up air, and now Ruby Runes in a position to perhaps swing this. And KO gets away from the slash there, grabs, burns him in the face. Now Cloud with the limit once again, but does not read Ruby Runes. Is just baits him into the Flare Blitz, securing a second KO. Now Ruby Runes maybe looking to rack up some extra damage and build that lead up. Still in a super vulnerable position. I know Charizard is not the lightest character, but at 201 damage, just about anything could be a KO. Ruby Runes tries to burn him off. Cloud recovers. Ruby Runes dives forward and luckily able to get away from those jabs from the Buster Sword. He does block, but the block doesn't last for long enough, and now Ruby Runes finally goes down. but not before building up a sizable lead. It could all be gone in a matter of seconds, thanks to that limit, and thanks to Squirtle being a very light character. Now Ruby Rune's not really in a position to probably switch. Tries to find an open to get some damage to Squirtle. And now that lead that he has built up with Charizard is now gone. Blocks the first projectile coming in. Tries to smash attack, but Cloud is right there with the shield, now threatening, trying to hold Ruby off the side of the stage. She goes in with a nice up special, and that's the opening he needs to get the safe switch off on the Ivysaur. But now Cloud is really, really close to that limit. The Ruby's going to need to play around that. Cloud does have the limit. And Ruby Runes knows it. He knows he has to block the limit or else he is gone. But he does block it a little bit, and surprisingly, that does not KO. Charizard gets back on top of the stage, but Cloud is right there just to block. And reads Ruby Rune's attack. The block gives him the opening to go for a smash attack, and he uses it to secure the final stock of the round, pushing Rancho Verde just to 3 stocks away from taking the match. We are back with round number 2 of set number 5. Rancho Verde stands 3 stocks away from taking the set. Ruby Rune's going to need to come back and win not one, but 2 games. Not one, but 2 games in this set to have the Eagles walk away from with a victory here. Bruins looking for the opening with Squirtle. Just rack up some damage and then switch over back to Ivysaur, which has been the strategy for most of the day for him. Grabs. It's a little bit of a down throw, but isn't able to get anything else from that. Squirtle doesn't hit particularly hard. So already at an early disadvantage is Ruby. Dodges, but Cloud reads it and slices him. Now Ruby Rune's already at 88%. Does have to switch over to the Ivysaur, but Cloud is close to that limit. He was able to get 2 KOs with it in the last game. Now has it again, and now Ruby Rune's in that position to get KO'd, but he jumps above it. Once again, Ruby Rune's getting away from that limit that has been key for him in surviving this matchup versus the Cloud. Ruby Rune slices Cloud with the neutral arrow from Ivysaur. Cloud at 84 is not really able to be KO'd just yet, but Ruby Rune's once again able to rack up that damage, but does not get away from the Cloud down smash. Does recover onto the stage and waits out the limit once again. Cloud a little bit too hasty to use the limit there, but still in control of the stage. Ruby Rune's now switched to Charizard, looking for the opening he needs to get a few really big hits off. Cloud charging up the limit once again. Ruben tries to go for the up air, gets it that time, and it triggers a star KO. So Cloud goes flying into the back of the screen, respawns. Now Ruby Rune's in front, just barely. Is at 3 stocks, but is at 181%. Ruby Runes charges in, but Cloud once again right there with the shield to secure his first KO of round number 2. Now just 2 KOs away. Ruby Runes has been keeping pace, so has Cloud, but Cloud usually has seemed to be one step ahead. Part of that is this Squirtle to Cloud mismatch here. Despite all the Squirtle speed, he's just been able to rack up all that damage. That time the limit does hit there, and it swings momentum a little bit. He's able to get 38 damage, or 38% onto Ruby Runes rather quickly. And just a couple more hits from that Buster Sword, and Ivysaur will be neck and neck with Cloud. It's a very close match. Both teams at even skill levels. Again, we're on set 5, and both players still playing hard. Both teams looking for the first win of the season. Cloud slices upwards and follows up with an up special. That's not enough to continue that damage. Now Ruby Rune's at 100. Cloud is aggressive, goes forward. Ruby Rune's reads it, blocks while he's on the platform. Has to get back up on the stage, though. And does not anticipate the Cloud projectile. Is going to be unable to perhaps get back on top of the stage. The late switch to Charizard is not enough. And that might be the break that Rancho Verde needs to finally close this one out. Cloud uses limit. Ruby Runes blocks it, but is unable to get anything else out of it. Now Cloud forcing him off of the stage, continuing to push him back using grid stage control, using those projectiles and the up special to keep Ruby Runes out of the center of the stage. He slides forward and kicks him. Ruby Runes hits him with a back air and charges off with a forward air, but SD's an unfortunate end for the Eagles as they end up falling in this match to Rancho Verde by a score of 3-2. So we will have to wait perhaps for another week for the JV team to get their first victory of the season. Rancho Verde takes the match by a score of 3-2. We will return this Friday.